I'm Chase Wilson, the owner of Third Stage Absinthe, and it's distillation weekend. We do this about once a year. We make enough absinthe, hopefully, to provide our suppliers throughout the year. And I'm just looking through our herbs that we're going to use in the process. So I import the herbs from France. When I first started the company, I tried a bunch of different herb suppliers. The ones I settled on that were the best were this herb company from France. They supply a bunch of French distilleries as well, so you know they're top quality. These literally just came in yesterday, and we've had this weekend scheduled on the books for a while. So very thankful that they're here now and that we're able to do a full weekend here at Nashville Craft Distillery. I was just opening them here. I mean, they're smelling amazing. We got all sorts of different herbs that we're gonna use in the process. So I'm going to start weighing some of these out and make sure we have the exact quantities we need for the recipe and crush up some of the seeds like the fennel and the aniseed in order to get the aromas and the flavors kind of more potent for the distillation. So that's what I'm doing right now. I think the best way to learn anything that you're passionate about is to first read a book. At least that's the way my brain works. A lot of people, I love YouTube as well, but I read a few books on it and I started realizing that you can get all the herbs that are in absinthe. Yeah, it goes aniseed as the main ingredient, fennel, seed, and then wormwood are the three main ingredients. You need all those three to make any absinthe. So that's called the holy trinity of absinthe herbs. That's how you start. And then anything after that is up to the distiller. We also have some coriander in there, which adds some citrusy aspects. There's some lemon balm as part of the coloring process, a little more citrus, herbal. There's some mint in there you can get on the back end. It's one of our coloring herbs. Hyssop is kind of in the minty kind of family as well. That adds a nice green color. So I found all that out and I started ordering herbs from different suppliers. In America, I would blend them together with high-proof alcohol and kind of extract those flavors and kind of make different concoctions with them at home. And then when I was finally ready to distill, I was able to use Bruce's. He's got a small trial still in-house that's 10 liters. I brought him my recipe and I came in here one day and just sat over a small little burner and watched that clear liquid come out of the still, the aromas just coming off the still, tasting it off the still, and it was just an amazing experience. It came out well and we figured we could scale it up to his much larger commercial still here. And I was a little worried about the scale up going from 5 to 10 liters to hundreds of gallons, but it actually came out exactly how we hoped and thought it would. So there's two main types of absinthe. There's an absinthe blanche, which is a clear absinthe. That's more of a Swiss style of absinthe. And there's the French style, which is the absinthe vert, which is what we make. And that's the traditional, what you think of the Green Fairy. Yeah, I think like most people, my whole childhood and early adulthood, I thought absinthe was this hallucinatory, kind of mysterious liquor that you could only buy in Europe. I didn't try absinthe until about 2013 or so. I was offered it at a bar in Knoxville, and like most people, I had no idea it was even legal yet, because it's been illegal in the United States from 1912 to 2007, so for 95 years. And so when I saw it at a bar in Knoxville, I, of course, wanted to try it because you hear all these cool, crazy things about it. And I really just fell in love with the flavor, the aroma of it. I mean, just the way it was presented to me in a cocktail in Knoxville. After graduation, I had always wanted to start my own business. Like I mentioned, I wanted to start a brewery one day, but I realized I'm an accountant, so I had a full-time job doing that. I wasn't really ready to take a risk of opening a $1 million brewery, and I had developed this great passion for absinthe, had mixed together these herbs that I thought made a good base for my absinthe, and I started thinking about starting an absinthe brand because For one, there was a lack of quality local absinthe around Nashville. There was one other brand being made, but it was a red absinthe, and I always wanted to do the green traditional absinthe vert, the French style of absinthe, and that's where I started. And I was introduced to Nashville Craft Distillery through a distributor that I knew. So we just tried a little sample off the still. It's full of that fresh anise, fennel flavor, that licoricey flavor you're kind of already starting to taste. But right now we've only used half the herbs that is in the recipe. We use 5 herbs for the main distillate, and the rest of the herbs, the other 5, are going to go into the coloring stage. And not only do these herbs help color it to that awesome shaded green that we love with Third Stage, but they also add some aroma, some flavor that you kind of get on the back end when you're drinking our absinthe. So it's a whole complex combination of these different herbs and botanicals that blend together. So the name comes from a quote by Oscar Wilde, who was a big absinthe drinker back in the late 1800s in France, and he was a big part of the kind of artistic bohemian absinthe movement back in the day. I mean, at one point in France and Switzerland, and after work they would have the green hour instead of a happy hour. Like the green hour was everybody would meet at the cafes in Paris and they would drink absinthe together. They write poetry. You know, Picasso, he was a big absinthe drinker, would do his art. But Oscar Wilde a lot of his poetry was based around absinthe because that's one of his passions. So it comes from a poem by Oscar Wilde about the 3 stages of absinthe drinking. So it goes, the first stage is like ordinary drinking. The second, you begin to see monstrous and cruel things. But if you can persevere to the 3rd stage, you see things that you want to see, wonderful and curious things. So I always just thought that was a cool quote, and that you always want to be on the 3rd stage where everything's wonderful and curious.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling out my name. They're telling me to head your way, down your road and past your gates. Keep your eyes on the horizon. I was looking to belong when I'd already found my home.
I think when you first try absinthe, you should do it the traditional way, which is you slowly drip cold water, as ice cold as you can get it, down into a cup of absinthe. And what's going to happen is you're going to see the absinthe start to transform. And it's going to be, it starts off with the see-through green colored liquid. And as the water's added, it starts turning this cloudy, almost whitish color, and that's called dilution. And what that is there's all these oils that are just trapped in a shot of absinthe, and with the addition of water they start to kind of release into suspension, and that's when the aromas come out, and it's going to slowly lower the proof as well. So by the time that's done, I say about 2 parts water to about 1 part absinthe, or 3 to 1 if you're kind of new. You kind of have like a mini cocktail because there's no sugar in my absinthe, but the natural sweetness from like the anise seed and the fennel seed is going to come out, and you can kind of just drink it like that, just cold water and absinthe. You can also drip it over a sugar cube and blend that together in there, which is a lot of people use. That's what a lot of like absinthe bars will do. That's a traditional way as well. Just don't light it on fire. I'm like at a liquor store giving samples out or something. I have so many people come up to me being like, oh, am I gonna hallucinate? Or don't you need to light it on fire to like trigger the effects of it? And it's just all this stuff that you just see in movies. The next goal is expansion and get into more people's hands. I get people DMing me on Facebook and Instagram all the time that have heard about my absinthe. They live in somewhere up north and we don't sell it up there, and it's like, how do I get it? So my next goal is to try to expand around Tennessee, Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga. East Tennessee's ramped up a little bit lately, which we love, and but just expanding it more around the state and as many places in Nashville as we can. So that's really my goal right now, is just expanding it, because there's absinthe fans everywhere. Yeah, you can find our bottle all around Nashville and Tennessee.
Stay for a little longer while I hold your time will wait. So just rest your head upon my shoulder. Nothing in our way is colder, but the day's not over yet. Summer nights, watch them go by as we fight off the cold. Holding you tight, you know just what I'm thinking. I don't want this moment to go. No, I don't want this moment to go. Let's lose track of